All right, so got another problem I got to deal with. This is a pretty common issue, actually. So on these 6.7 Powerstroke diesel trucks, of course, right here is your cold side intercooler hose, and you can see that slit right there? Look at that. Yep, so this cold side hose is about to pop on me. Now, the funny thing about this is a 19 model truck. My cousin has a 2020 model truck, and we just did this on his last weekend. He had one that was exactly like this, but his was already perforated all the way through, and he was getting a check engine light on the dash. I can't remember the exact code that he got, but basically it had something to do with airflow ratio. And so I figured, well, that's probably what it is. He also reported that he could hear a whooshing sound that wasn't what he normally, was used to hearing with the truck. So we looked under the hood, and sure enough, his cold side hose was popped. So anyway, I just think that's funny because the very next week, the same thing is happening to mine. So anyway, I'm going to get in here and replace that. But I'm not going to put another factory junk hose on here. I'm going to go aftermarket. However, I didn't want to spend $300 or $400 either, so let me show you what I got. Now, obviously, this is the Goodyear Wrangler DuraTrack, and you've all seen this tire by now. All right, so this kit right here came from Rudy's Diesel Performance. And the nice thing about it is the hose is made out of silicone. You can see that's a heavy duty, thick walled silicone hose right there. Very substantial. So this should last a lot longer and not, rip and tear and get holes in it. And then the upper part up there where that, I call it a throttle body. I don't know what you actually call it. That goes into the intake manifold, If you look on there, the factory one is plastic. Well, they send you an aluminum one to replace it with. And there's the bung for the air charge temperature sensor. So this should snap right on there and replace that plastic part. And it looks like it will accept the factory snap ring. So we'll reuse that. And then they give you a new O-ring because the O-ring goes inside of here before you slide it on there. And lastly, you've got some real heavy duty clamps here. These are the good ones, a big one and a little one. Once you put those on there and crank them down, she'll be nice and snug and won't have any leaks. So this was only like $120. The factory hose was $120, so it was a no-brainer to me. Instead of buying another factory hose that's prone to fail, why not spend the same money on an aftermarket option, right? I got my trusty work platform set up here that I showed you in the serpentine belt video. All right, first thing I'm going to do is take my cat claw tool and remove this one little plastic rivet right here that holds in these two lines. That way they're free and kind of loose. All right, then we're going to take a 7mm because Ford likes to use these weird sizes. So we're going to take 7mm and go ahead and I got some long extensions here to get down here on this lower hose. Because down here where the bottom of this thing connects to the intercooler, it's kind of a long reach. All right, be careful, try not to lose your socket, which I almost just did right there. And we'll get the top side one here. All right, let go of my socket. Come on, I don't know why these things are so difficult to that's ridiculous. I didn't want to let go of my socket. All right. So anyway, now that we got that clamp loose and that one down there, we can go ahead and pull this intercooler hose off. Get down in here and pop that end of it off. There we go. Slide it up out of here. Yeah, man, it looks like it was. I can see some daylight when I look on the inside of it. This one was almost all the way through. I probably had a couple of days left on this hose before it was going to be toast. All right. So now this part right here is plastic on the factory one. So you can see this snap ring down in here. So what you have to do is you got to get a flat blade screwdriver or a pick tool down in there, and you basically just lift this clip up out of that groove. And you got to lift it up out of the groove all the way around that thing. And once you do that, you'll be able to slide this whole assembly off. Now obviously here's your intake charge temperature sensor, so we got to disconnect that. And what we'll do is we'll twist very gently and pull that sensor out and swap it over to the new aluminum piece in the Rudy's kit. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to disconnect this sensor. These Ford sensors are notorious for being hard to do, but I got it. That one wasn't as bad as a lot of them. I think Ford has some engineers that just sit around and their only job is to figure out newfangled ways to design plastic connectors that nobody will be able to figure out. So I took my cat claw tool because there's a little push clip right there too. All right, so now that connection is loose, and now, like I said, we can gently twist this sensor out of here, and it might be a little easier to do. There it goes. Just gently twist. Try not to break it. I'm going to wiggle it just a little bit because this thing has an O-ring on it, I believe. So you may have to wiggle it a little bit to get it up out of there. Oh, there it goes. Woo! Look how dirty that thing is. My goodness. It is nasty. So I may take some cleaner and just spray that and try to clean that up a little bit and put it back in. But yeah, you can see how it's got an O-ring on it. So that's why it's kind of snug down in there. I'm going to set this aside momentarily, and I'll clean that up before I put it back in. All right, so now this part right here is ready to come off. I just got to go get a pick tool and try to get that clip up out of there. Now this is the not fun part. I'm going to try and get under here with my pick tool and find somewhere. There we go. Hopefully you can see it on the camera, but you're just going to put your pick tool in there and kind of unlock this tab. I almost had it. Well, I keep getting it, but then I release it accidentally. Put that one down for a minute. This was probably, it's not difficult to do, but it's probably the most frustrating part. There we go. See that right there? How I've released it. And you gotta, like I said, you gotta do that all the way around. But then this part should just slide right off of here. There we go. And then you can take the plastic part off. Now, like I said, you're gonna reuse this snap ring on the new one, so don't discard that. And there we go. Throw the junk stuff away and go get the aftermarket stuff. Start putting it on here. I'm going to work back here at the back of the truck. So I've got my aluminum section here. I'm going to get my O-ring. Boy, that's a thick O-ring too. And the O-ring, you're going to see a groove down in here. The O-ring is just going to set down in there. And then I'm going to work it around with my fingers like so. I don't know if the camera is really showing it very well, but you can see the O-ring down in that groove there. All right, now I cleaned up my temperature sensor, so I'm going to go get it and put it in here. And I'm going to go over here and fetch it real quick. I just gently sprayed it, so hopefully it'll be okay. It's actually still got a little bit of extra residue on there, but it should be okay, I hope. All right, so we're going to stick this down in here. Now, when you look into this thing, you'll see how this is designed. It's got like a little semicircle or maybe a quarter circle here and over there. Very similar to like an automotive style light bulb. You're going to stick it in exactly in the right spot and then give it like a quarter turn. So what I like to do is go ahead and put this in while this piece is off the truck, because that way what you can do is you can look through the inside and you can tell when you've got this thing all the way in there. It doesn't look like it's all the way in right there. So let me try turning it this way, because you want to make sure it goes all the way down in there before you give it that quarter turn, you know. That's the magic of this. You don't want to like stick it in there and think that it's seated and it's really not seated. so let's make sure we get it all the way. And I'm having some difficulty getting it to go all the way right now. So I'm just going to play with it here for a second and make sure I get it firmly seated all the way through that slit, and then turn it until it locks. There it goes. It just went all the way through, and you'll be able to tell because this tab will be against the lip of the bung here. And then you can also look inside and see that it's all the way through. And so then we're going to give it that quarter turn until it locks into place. Did you hear that? And you'll be able to look on here and see also that it's locked into place. All right, so the sensor is installed, the O-ring is installed. So now I think what I'm going to do, now here's where you can do this two different ways. You can go ahead and try to install this as one, and then, you know, put this together now and then install this whole unit as one piece down into the truck. Or you can do this part and then try to put this part on. I don't really know which way would be the easiest, to be honest with you. So I'm going to attempt first to go ahead and put this together as one unit. I'm going to go ahead and put this on and then slide it down into the truck as one unit and see if that works. But like I said, it could be that I'll end up taking it back apart. You just have to play with it and see which way you like it the best. Now, don't forget to go ahead and put your clamp on here, like so that it's already on when you get it in the truck. And then here's the little one. Go ahead and put an oar in it so that you can get to the nut to tighten it down. Don't forget to do that. May have to loosen these up just a little bit and then slide them on there. It's going to be a kind of a tight fit, but you can make it work. And then after I get that on there, we'll go over to the truck and try to get this thing in, which could be a little bit of a fight. I'm going to experiment with this a little bit. And of course, here's your ring, of course. I'm going to go ahead and put this ring on here. And I think what I'm going to do is slide it. I'm going to lift it up out of the groove and just kind of have it sitting on there like that. See, so that when I push this on, then I can just slide that clamp down there where I want it. Try that and see what happens. May work, may not work. You can, if you want to, unbolt this. I think it's the power steering fluid reservoir, and get that a little bit out of the way, but there's really not a whole lot you can do with it. I mean, where are you going to put it, right? You don't want to disconnect it, and you'll have fluid going everywhere. So that's kind of up to you, but fun times, fun times. Tell you what, this is a complete pain in the rear end, is what this is. So it's one of those things where, again, no access. So you just got to play with it, wrangle it down in there. But I would start with trying to get that lower one on, I think, because it's the farthest away and it's the most difficult. And now that I'm looking at this, maybe it would be easier, maybe, to put this lower part on first and then slide this new part onto that part and then slide the whole thing on. That may be what I do, but I'm just going to play with it a little bit here and figure out what works the best. I'll be back in just a minute. I finally got it on there, and I'm not going to lie, it was a complete pain in the ass, but I finally got it on there. So what I ended up doing was I did separate the two parts. I put the lower part on first, then I slid this part into the lower part, and then I slid this part onto the intake manifold. So it's on there. Now, what I wasn't able to do is slide the lower part onto the intercooler with the supplied clamp already on it. There was just no way. This thing was too tight. Even with the nut ran out as far as it would go, it was just too tight. There was no way. So I had to take that off and hope that now I can put it back together and compress the spring enough to get the nut started again. Whew, wore me out. So anyway, now that that is slid back into place, I got to get this snap clip back on there where it goes. While I'm holding that, I did take this power steering reservoir loose also, just to give myself a little bit more space. All the space that you can muster up when you're working on one of these trucks will be well worth it, trust me. All right, so hopefully it doesn't look like it's all the way on there to me, but hopefully it's all the way on there. All right, so that relocates the sensor over here, but I got plenty of wire to reach that. So now, try to get this back up here where it's supposed to be. Get this hose situated where I want it. Try to get my clamp slid back up into place. Man, it's getting windy out here too. And then try to get that lower clamp on. And then I can button this thing up finally. Nothing on this truck is easy. Nothing. Pain in the rear end. I finally got everything on. So the snap ring, I had to put the snap ring in the groove and then grab this and kind of wiggle it around until it found the groove in the intake, and then the snap ring would finally pop down in there. So I think that's tight. Sensor's in. This upper clamp is tight. Now the lower clamp, the one that they supplied, where did it go? Here it is. This is the one they supplied for the lower clamp that goes onto the intercooler. It was too small. With this, like I said, I had that ran out as far as it would go without falling apart, and it just would not slide onto the intercooler. This clamp needs to be slightly bigger. So what I ended up doing is I ended up using the existing factory clamp down there. So now I can plug my sensors back in, put this back together, start the truck up, and hopefully there won't be any more check engine lights. And this, in theory, should last a long time. The zip ties that they include are probably so that you can, there we go, zip tie this together and make it all nice and tidy. Rock and roll. A couple of zip ties on here just to keep everything tidy and keep it out of the fan. Then I'll get some pliers and snip those off. All right, guys, so that wraps up this project. Hopefully it's helpful to you. I know this is a very common failure on these trucks, so if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, but you do want to get a quality kit that's more likely to last a long time, check out the Rudy's diesel kit. I bought it with my own money, not a sponsored video, but it looked like a pretty good kit to me. And like I said, the price you can't beat. So if it doesn't work out, I'll let you know, but I don't expect to have any more issues, at least not with that cold side intercooler pipe from now on. So as always, I appreciate you watching the videos. Thanks, and we'll talk to you later.